You've been looking a bit blue these days. Want to talk about it?
Well, you know how for the past year I've been traveling with Shion? Without settling down in any one place like the rest of you?
To seal up the mausoleums, right? That's something only you guys can do.
The reason I didn't stay in cities for long was because I wanted to avoid people.
Because everyone's either calling you a hero or a destroyer, right? That's why you exploded in Nies, isn't it?
Yeah. I wanted to protect Nazamil, but it wasn't just for her. A lot of that anger was for my own sake as well.
But what else could you do? Any way you look at it, they were in the wrong.
Even so, I should have handled it better. If I hadn't lost control and caused this whole mess, Nazamil wouldn't have run off.
Look, I get why it's bothering you, but that doesn't mean...
It's not just her, is it? I get the sense that behind all this, you're actually anxious about your future.
Alphen's future? What are you talking about?
You really are perceptive when it comes to other people.
If people could be perceptive about their own business, no one would ever have anything to worry about.
That is.
No doubt. You're right, though. I'm in this mess just handling my own problems. I worry I'm not ready.
Regardless of what anyone says, it's your life. Don't let your future slip away from you. Or perhaps I should say, your future together?
Wait, that's... you mean Alphen and Shion?
Spluttering like a fish is not proper decorum, young man.
Yep.
You're not even that old!
I'll still have to think it over and choose for myself, but I do feel better now. Thanks, guys.
Fine. If it's come to this, I'll use my astral arts to show you who your master is.
Enough!
Why, you insolent!
This man wishes to emigrate here, but is demanding preferential treatment because he's a Renin.
That's not how things are done here. Did you come here without knowing that?
Lord Dohalim. I had heard talk, of course, but I considered the rumors too preposterous to believe. So, it's true. The Blazing Sword and the Lord are working in league with one another.
And your point?
What an affront to our people!
Thank you for your help. He wouldn't listen to reason.
Lately, more and more Renins and Danins are acting like that.
It's true. I'm trying to think of solutions, but it's a very delicate situation.
Oh, one other thing. Droshin from the Department for Welfare was looking for you all. He says he has something to discuss.
Thank you.
Alphen. It's difficult to receive such hostility from a stranger. I know I've experienced it myself, but don't worry.
Nazamil! Where have you...
Be patient. Just for a little longer.
Nazamil, come back! I want to talk...
Please forgive me for summoning you all. I was hoping I could ask you to deliver a personal correspondence to Sisluden.
A delivery? Isn't that a job for the Service Corps?
Usually, yes. Truth be told, they aren't too fond of the Corps over there as of late.
Really? The letter is for Bregan of the Silver Swords, right? I can't see him being upset about it.
He isn't the issue. It's the citizens of Sisluden. They're not just wary of Renins, but Danins too.
Makes sense. It is Sislodia after all.
I see. And you've come to us because you think no one would risk interfering with us. Is that it?
Yes. Of course, I don't think such a task would require all of you to carry it out.
Huh.
What do you want to do? It's possible Nazamil will come back here.
Judging by that interaction, I don't think we'll see her again. Until she's ready. In which case, it's meaningless to continue searching for her. I think we should stay together so we're not apart when she returns.
But
What Dohalim says makes sense. Besides, we've been trying to find Nazamil for a while. It would be good for you to focus on other things for a bit.
yeah. Alright then. We'll make the trip to Cisloden.
Thank you so much. Here is the letter.
Oh, Hootle! What? Did Hootle do something?
Oh no, it's fine. I was just surprised to see him appear out of nowhere. I'm sorry for worrying you.
Shion, do you still have some of your anxieties from when you had your thorns?
Yeah, I guess. Sometimes I still panic when someone approaches me too suddenly. You know what they say about old habits dying hard.
Right. That must be difficult.
But overall, I've gotten pretty used to physical contact with others. It makes me happy more than anything.
The joy of human contact. Hearing that from you, of all people, makes it sound all the more wonderful.
Yeah, I'm with you there. And also, I think it's easy to forget as you grow older, but just the warmth of another can be really comforting. It's cold in Cislodia, but when I hug Hootle tight, it warms me right to the soul.
I remember how, whenever I was feeling anxious or when times were hard, my brother would silently rub my back. The warmth of his hand told me that everything was going to be all right. It was reassuring.
Yeah, it's a way of communicating without words, isn't it?
I've still only experienced that a few times, but I think I understand.
Well, for what it's worth, you're always welcome to hug me, or even just lean on me, whenever you want. You too, Rinwell.
Yeah, and the same goes for the two of you with me. You too, Hootle. Look, Shion, Kisara's waiting for us with open arms.
Really? Now? Well, all right then. I guess it'll help me get more comfortable with this sort of thing. Thank you. Both of you.
Back to about it.
Everything we need is here.
Hopefully this will help the reconstruction start again.
You're lost in your thoughts again.
It was probably the blazing sword they needed, not me.
People who know you see you.
We all have a hard time with the discrepancy between our true self and the impression others have of us. But I doubt such knowledge will help you feel any better right now.
Hey, why don't we go back to Ulzebek? There's no point in staying here anyway.
Right. Let's go.
Back, are ya? How did it go?
It went.
Not bad. It should be all taken care of.
Oh, wow, that's great! I knew I could count on the blazing sword. Thank you, I really appreciate it.
The blazing sword until the bitter end, huh? I wonder what he would have done if I'd turned him down.
Well, I guess he probably would have been disappointed that you couldn't help him.
But I can't help everyone. It's like I'm doomed to fail them. Sometimes I think Volron was right. Is this my only choice? Drop everything every time someone needs help? Is that even me anymore? I talk to Nazamil like I'm some sort of role model. But look at me. What future?
Alphen,
I knew it would be like this if I came to the city. Why did I agree to come?
Alphen! Why did you save me? Was it just because you were a hero?
No, of course not. That's not it. I just...
You chose to fight because you had a reason, right? Regardless of what that reason may have been. Don't forget that you have friends. That there are people who can help guide you. That's part of the reason why I wanted you to come here with me. It's because I wanted to help remind you of that fact. From what I remember, there should be someone in this city who can help you in ways that the rest of us can't.
The Crimson Crows? No, not them. Doc. Right. Doc. You're looking good, Doc.
You aren't looking too good yourself, though. I've been wondering when you'd show up. So, what is it? I don't know what you're struggling with, but just spit it out. That's the reason you've come here, isn't it?
I can't keep any secrets from you, can I? So, the truth is...
I see. So everyone comes to you asking for your help.
I don't mind being relied on. I mean, I'm happy to help. It's just that...
They take it for granted because you're a hero. That must be tough. I don't blame you.
I just don't understand. Renans hate me without question, while Danans call me a hero. Who in the world am I?
We spent such a long time as slaves. In some ways, I suppose we're still trying to get free. Listen, Alphen. How many hands do you have?
Hands? Well, I have 2.
And how many things can you hold at once with those 2 hands? You think the blazing sword can hold hundreds or thousands of things at once just because he's a hero? Nonsense.
Well...
All they see is the legend. They can't tell the difference between Alphen the person and Alphen the blazing sword. That's your real problem, isn't it? So you need to tell them. Remind them that you only have 2 hands.
Are you saying I should abandon people even when they're asking for my help?
Not at all. You want to help everyone. That's a great mindset, and there's nothing wrong with it. However, in order for you to meet everyone's needs, you would have to grow 1,000 hands. No, even 1,000 wouldn't be enough. You'd still miss something, and the people would still complain. All you can do is choose what's important to you. What will you do with just those 2 hands of yours?
Yes.
You are the one who decides, Alphen. Not the people, not the blazing sword, but you.
I decide. I decide for myself. I do.
What's going on?
I don't know, but it's gotta be something big. That's the blazing sword, you know.
Everyone, listen. I once fought with my friends against the Renan Lords. I did so because I thought it was the way to save everyone. I always thought that I had an obligation to fight, to help those unable to fend for themselves. But I realized I was wrong. I can certainly fight to some extent, but I'm still just a human. I'm not a god or a hero.
What are you saying?
No way! You mean you're not going to help us anymore?
That's not what I'm saying. I want to do all I can. But not because I'm some hero. Not because anyone told me to. I want to do it because I choose to. Even so, there's a limit to what I can do. And that's why...
You're saying you'll be a hero, who helps when you're truly needed.
Nath.
When Zephyr died, we foisted that responsibility entirely on you, rather than sharing the burden. Eventually, you'll be gone, just like Zephyr. Everyone dies in the end, whether they are a hero or not. We need to learn to fend for ourselves, and not rely entirely on you, or on any individual for that matter. Am I right?
Right, exactly. I believe that is the path to real, lasting freedom. For all of us. But each and every one of you will need to work together. I'm asking for your help.
You heard him. The time for depending completely on others is over. From here on out, we have to find ways to do whatever we can on our own. As long as we work together, I'm sure we'll be fine. Go ahead and leave the rest to us. You focus on yourself. I'm sorry for burdening you with so much up until now.
Thanks.
Feeling better?
Yeah. I guess, in the end, it seems I was bound by the word hero myself.
You freaked me out when you suddenly decided to talk to everyone on your own like that.
Those who depend entirely on others cannot truly call themselves free. A good lesson that we all should keep in mind.
The people here will eventually understand. I really believe that.
If everyone can learn to truly think and decide for themselves, I think they'll start seeing a lot of things differently. And hopefully, one day, they'll realize that the differences between Danins and Renins don't matter at all.
So then, now that you've decided to follow your heart, what do you want to do next, Alphen?
I want to find Nazamil. Not sure what she's going through, but I can't help but feel like she needs us. But first, I want to go to Niez.
Yes.
I want to speak to the people in different cities like I did in Olzebek. I'll start with Niez. I'll start sowing the seeds in every town, so that maybe, one day...
That's quite an undertaking. Difficult for a hero, let alone one man.
Well, I guess we'll just have to lend him a hand then, won't we?
Niez it is then.
The Crimson Crows are so cool! I want to join myself someday.
Nice. I'm sure you'll make it in. When you do, I'll be right there with you.
How mature of you to be thinking about the future already.
The Crimson Crows isn't just it, though. There are a whole lot of other things I want to do, too.
Like what?
I want to go out and travel all around the world, like you guys.
That's great! Traveling's a blast.
Also, I still want to make something and sell it to people. I haven't forgotten my promise, Shion.
I'm looking forward to you making something tasty.
Have you ever thought of coming to Vicent to study? It could be an opportunity to learn about both traveling and sales.
Studying, huh? I've never done anything like that before. It sounds hard, but maybe I'll give it a try. I'll have to be brave to make life better for everyone here. Like when Alphen broke down that wall.
That is laudable insight to have at your age.
You should know, though, that balancing that with the Crimson Crows will be no easy feat.
What if you put together a new group? It could be your very own crew. Traveling the world, doing business.
Whoa, that sounds amazing! Okay, and we're gonna be called the Awesome Fearless Dreamers!
Ooh, like it. A name like that just screams courage.
Don't you think it's a bit long? Well, I suppose it gets the idea across.
Hurry it up, Alphen! Hey, you too, Lord Man!
Haste makes waste, young one.
Oh, don't even start with me on that. Come on, we're keeping everyone waiting.
He's right. Shion and Rinwell must be getting impatient with us too.
I don't believe that's the case. Look, they seem to be enjoying themselves.
It feels so comforting to just sit quietly side by side, next to each other. And being able to follow through with something you've set your mind to like that. It's dependable, you know?
Wow, you really have a soft spot for that sort of thing, don't you?
Are they talking about...
Yeesh. Kinda awkward if we butted in now, right, Alphen?
Not at all. We should say something.
No. It would be rude of us to interrupt. Let us assess the situation and choose the time to make our entrance with propriety.
You mean eavesdrop?
Personally, I really like those light, nimble movements. There's a graceful fluidity to them. And the strike that comes afterwards, it's always so cool, no matter which way you look at it.
Strike? Hold up.
For me, it's the poise I'm fond of. That dignified demeanor never seems to falter, all while staying alert and being receptive to even the most subtle shift in sounds.
Sounds.
I know. And those big, beautiful, thoughtful eyes. I keep finding myself inadvertently gazing into them.
Big, beautiful, and thoughtful?
She's right. Alphen does have beautiful eyes.
But if anyone has thoughtful eyes, it's Dohalim.
But surely Big Eyes refers to Law?
I can't wait to see Zare again.
The cat!
When I see you speaking with other Renans, they always look so happy. It's made me realize just how many people depend on you, Dohalim.
I'm glad to be able to help, but I do feel it goes a bit too far sometimes.
You can say that again. Apparently there are even some who want you to be the new ruler of the Renan people.
Damn.
I suspect their minds are still trapped in the Renan mentality that the strong have an inherent right to rule and should be followed.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for them, the reign they envision was but a fantasy, even in the old days. Going forward, they will need to face reality.
Yeah, reality with no more lords or sovereigns.
Though there are still those enthralled by my title of former lord. I hope to see the day when they too can stand on their own two legs.
That said, I don't think people place their faith in you just because you were once a lord. I kept it from you so as not to burden you further, but there have been quite a few requests for you in Vicent as well.
Is that so? For what, pray tell?
Some want you to pass on your extensive knowledge by becoming a school teacher. Others say they want you to help them learn to appreciate music. And, as a request for the elegant and handsome Dohalim, there were even some who wished to be your lover.
That's a scary voice.
Sounds less like people want things from him, and more like they just want him. I wish people talked about me like that.
There he goes, talking like an idiot again.
When it comes to children, they all want you to be their father. Sing them songs, read them stories, that sort of thing. It's actually rather sweet.
I see. Not all things people desire of me are quite so vapid, I suppose.
Yes. As a side note, I should mention that most of these requests happen to come from women. It's wonderful to be so popular,
Why are you staring at me with a gaze like the coldest winter? I certainly do no such thing.
Hey, you're still hanging out at the library, right? Anything interesting happen lately?
Anything interesting? Well, I have found plenty of interesting new books to read.
Yeah? Like what?
Books on horticulture, culinary techniques, things like that. Recently, I've been diving into some new topics. I've gotten to know some of the other people at the library, and they've been recommending all sorts of new books for me to try.
So they're, like, book buddies, huh?
Yeah, exactly! Any book I choose for myself is going to be colored by my own preferences, so it helps to have some outside opinions. I'm broadening my horizons.
Yeah, great. Just don't spend too much time reading. It's not healthy.
Excuse me? You're the one who brought up the library. You just wanted to say that?
No, just... never mind.
Oh. Could it maybe be that you're lonely?
Huh? As if!
There's nothing wrong with that. I feel lonely sometimes too, being away from you guys. I think it's normal for friends to miss each other. But no matter how much I wonder what you're all doing out there, it's not like I can just pop over and see you.
Yeah, kinda hard to do that when we live in different realms.
But still, it's nice that we get to hang out from time to time, like now. Even if it is, you know, in the name of necessity. I'm always looking forward to seeing you all again, and that helps give me strength when I'm alone.
I've been looking forward to seeing you all again too. I didn't realize we both felt the same way. Alright, I'm gonna work my butt off when I get back to the Crimson Crows. I've gotta be able to keep up with you after all.
Just don't go overboard and get yourself injured.
It'll be fine. I'm far too tough to get injured that easily.
See? It's exactly that kind of attitude that I'm worried about. Ugh.
Got your face stuck in a book as usual, huh? What kind of stuff do you read anyway?
All sorts of things. Ancient accounts, histories. Just recently, I was reading a book about astral arts.
So what's the point? Does this, like, make your astral arts stronger?
No. I just read because I like to learn. Though, it is also helpful for my research.
Research?
Mm-hmm. For example, I'm looking into whether it's possible to combine Danon magic with Ren and astral arts. I'm also interested in the mausoleums and Dana's past.
Okay. I'll admit, I'm not totally following. But, is there a purpose to this research? Like a goal?
A purpose? Well, I guess there is something I'd like to try someday. I want to try writing my own book, instead of just reading what others have written.
This is the first I'm hearing of it. What kind of book do you want to write?
I have several ideas I've been thinking about, but most of all, I'd like to write about Danon magic. Leave as much of my knowledge behind as possible, you know? And also, if there are any other Danons out there who can use magic, like me, maybe that book could help me find them.
Wow, you've really thought this through. You're amazing, you know that?
What's gotten into you? I'll have you know that flattery won't get you anywhere.
Law is correct. All the knowledge you've gained on Danon magecraft would be lost if not made manifest. That book would serve as a guiding light to scholars for generations to come.
You're gonna embarrass me if you keep talking like that. It's no big deal. I just like to study, that's all.
I know what you mean. Whether books or art, there is an indescribable, fragrant allure to those things that have traversed the ages.
Yeah, who doesn't like the smell of old books?
Yeah, totally! They do smell, yummy, don't they?
What? La, please don't eat my books.
Wow, Kisara, I'm amazed you know how to weave grass like that. You said you learned it from Miguel, right? It sounds like he really did teach you everything.
Yes, just like that girl's mother. He used to weave grass into bracelets and necklaces for me back when we were kids.
Kisara?
Sorry, it's just... It occurred to me that something he taught me to make me smile is now bringing a smile to someone else's face. I know that I could never be as great as my brother.
You were the one who decided to fix the bracelet and find the girl.
Dohalim.
Miguel's dream is still alive thanks to you.
You're right. Thanks to meeting all of you, I can say my dreams are no longer just dreams.
Exactly. I couldn't even hope to count all the times I've been saved by your shield.
Yeah, Kisara. I can even do some housework now because you taught me.
You've always been a really good listener when I've got something on my mind.
And that one time I stained my clothes during a meal, I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't been there to help.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. It sounds like I've been helping all of you more than I realized. The ideals imparted to us can still be made a reality, but only by those who are alive now, in the present. I chose that path. There's still a long way to go, but for some reason, I feel radiant right now.
Oh? How very curious. Walking next to you, I feel the same way. I must say, I'm impressed with the old man's keen insight.
I know, right? I've always known him as a dependable person, but Doc still surprises me every time I see him. He's always looking at the big picture and how his actions can help others. I think it's really admirable.
I agree. But, you know, those same things apply to you, Alphen. You should be proud of yourself as well.
Thanks, Shion.
If Doc ever does end up meeting the librarian, though, he might be in for a bit of a surprise.
That's for sure. She certainly is somewhat unique.
Who knows? They might end up getting along.
They do seem to share a similar passion for knowledge. Perhaps they could spend some meaningful time with one another.
Anyway, I'm glad the Sovereign and Maiden outfits are back in our hands.
Me too. Now we can wear them whenever we want.
Yeah, you should wear them every day to make all the trouble we went through worthwhile.
The whole point of owning clothes you like is having the freedom to wear what you want when you want to. It's no fun if you feel obligated to wear something.
Exactly.
That's right. You shouldn't need a reason to dress up. You should just dress for yourself, because it's something you want to do.
I'm surprised. It's rare for us to have the same opinions on clothing. Maybe you're finally starting to understand fashion.
Well, I did have a good teacher.
My, you two have gotten close.
Masks.
They left. What was that all about?
It sure doesn't seem like any sort of festival. I've got a very bad feeling about this.
The way they didn't seem to be listening to anything brings back some bad memories, huh?
What we saw at Volron's castle. You're right. Just what's going on?
And those masks.
Yeah. They look just like the iron mask I once wore.
We should find someone who can fill us in.
Who is it? Bayfun? You're safe. What's happening? What was wrong with those people out front?
Well... A while back, some very odd folks showed up in town. They were all wearing masks, but there were both Renans and Danans among them. But that wasn't the weirdest part of the whole thing. Who do you think was leading them?
I don't know. Who?
Nazamil.
What do you mean? How could Nazamil be leading them?
It's exactly as I said. Only one person was wearing a different mask than the others, and it was her, no doubt about it. They called themselves Cal Basil.
The one path.
They said they had come to bring peace. However, their methods made that very hard to believe. They started putting those masks on all the people here, and you saw what happened to them after that.
You mean you couldn't stop them? What happened? Where were the Darkwings?
Nazamil was using some astral art. It was nearly impossible to resist her.
I see. But you managed to slip away and hide here.
What is Nazamil up to? Turning people into her puppets with those masks.
They say they bring peace. And I guess technically, They can't fight if they're all being controlled like that.
Nazamil told us to be patient a little longer, didn't she?
Whatever is going to happen, it must be imminent. Do you know where they were headed?
Shinefall Woods, in Ganeth Harrows.
Oh, God.
I know it's odd, but when someone asked where they came from, that's where they said their base is.
They're not even trying to hide? Could it be some kind of trap?
We'll just have to go and find out. I see no other options.
Phase 1's coming along well. Soon, Phase 2 will come. Everything is going perfectly. Just you wait.
I'm hungry! So hungry! I can eat a whole horse by myself!
I bet. Speaking of dinner, I think it's Shion's turn to cook tonight, right?
I believe so. Let's ask if she can get started sooner rather than later. If for no other reason than to set a law down.
What? Something wrong?
Hush. They sound quite excited about something.
From what I've heard, a lot of people have been copying Kagari and Notio's wedding ceremony from last year.
Yeah, it's a traditional Renin ceremony, but ever since they got married, it's gotten super popular, even among Danon couples.
The whole thing was just so lovely. It was my first time attending a wedding, but I can definitely see the appeal.
Lovely, yeah. Oh, and all the food they served was delicious too.
I know, there was so much food, but everything they served was carefully chosen. And you could taste the care put into every bite. And the flowers. The arrangement they chose for Kagari's bouquet was a perfect fit for her. Also, during the banquet after the ceremony, Kagari and Notio were telling me the whole story about how they found their new house. They said it was okay if it was simple and bare bones. They just wanted a warm place where they could spend their days together. I want that too. A joyous ceremony for a loving couple starting a new life together. I guess dreams really can come true. It was a perfect day.
Sounds like someone may have been taking notes.
No, it's not like that. Anyway, Kisara, how about you?
Me? Well, I certainly don't think marriage is the most important thing in life. That said, I'll admit having a wedding ceremony does seem nice.
Really? It sounds like you both feel the same way then. Oh, speaking of which, Kisara, do you remember what you said at Kagari and Notio's ceremony? About the bouquet toss?
You mean how if you can't catch a bouquet, you'll end up always being single and alone? Yeah, I'm sorry about that. As it turns out, that isn't true at all.
What? It isn't?
Apparently not. I actually just found out recently myself. I'm really sorry. I shouldn't have mentioned it without checking first.
This is quite an interesting conversation, in more ways than one.
Seriously? Who cares about weddings and all that kind of stuff? Let's go already, I'm starving!
If we must. Personally, I feel it's rather boorish of you to spoil their fun.
Hey! You guys talking about weddings?
Oh, you three are finally back. Yeah, it turns out weddings are all the rage these days.
I have heard the same. There is no denying that Notio and Kagari's ceremony was a delightful occasion, filled with warmth and understanding.
That's for sure. Even after the ceremony was over, Shion just kept going on and on about how nice it had been.
I don't know about that.
Really? I guess I never realized.
Law must be misremembering, that's all. Anyway, I've got a dinner to make.
Seems like it's a bit of a touchy subject for her. It would probably be best not to press her on it.
What is it, Alphen? Is something the matter?
No, sorry, I'm just realizing that there's so much I don't know. I had no idea that weddings were popular, that Shion was so interested in them. Any of it.
Don't let it get to you. Paying attention to such things is simply not in your nature.
Damn, Dohalim. Are you trying to cheer the poor guy up or rub salt in the wound?
No, it's fine, Law. Dohalim is right. Still, it's something I need to work on. Otherwise, it could get me into real trouble in the future. Maybe someday I'll, find someone I want to marry. If my bride is someone who cares deeply about the wedding ceremony, then that means it should be important to me, too. I don't want to use my own ignorance as an excuse to make my bride-to-be do all the planning. That would be a huge burden for one person to carry, right?
That may be the case, but I'm still not sure what you're getting at.
I just think that it's important to know about weddings. Not only weddings, but marriage in general. I need to learn more about them so I can be prepared. I want to do some research and fill in the gaps in my knowledge. That way I'll have the confidence to help out and make informed decisions when the time comes. But I've never done something like this before. I have no idea where to even begin. So...
You're saying you want us to help you out? You got it! To be honest, I don't really know that much about the subject myself, though.
Thanks, Law.
Oh, speaking of which, you should definitely make sure to ask Shion for help. There's probably nothing about nuptials that she doesn't know.
No. Sorry, but I, want to keep this a secret from her. Because, I'm doing this for my own benefit. So I want to do as much of it as possible on my own, without being a burden on anyone else. I realize I'm asking for some assistance from all of you guys, but I don't want to bother Shion with this. If I did, then I'd end up relying on her too much. I really want to avoid that. So, I want to do this research, but I also want to keep Shion from finding out about it. Can you help me?
Whoa, that was a whole lot of words. But I think I get what you're trying to say. You could have just said you don't want to cause trouble by not knowing anything, because you finally decided you want to marry Shion. Ow!
You need to work on your filter, Law. You don't have to say every thought that pops into your head. You aren't a little kid, are you?
Damn.
Sorry.
My. Those growing pains can sure pack a wallop.
At any rate, I think I speak for all of us when I say we are sympathetic to your cause. We shall assist in your research and keep it to ourselves. You should go about this endeavor in your own way. If you do not wish to involve Shion at this time, then so be it. But be mindful that should she find out, you'll likely need to explain all of this to her.
The pursuit of knowledge is a noble one. I'm rooting for you, Alphen.
Thanks, all of you. I'm gonna take advantage of this opportunity to gather as much info as I can.
So, Alphen, what kind of information are you after first? What's the most important thing to know about weddings?
Flowers, maybe?
You know, Shion was saying something about bouquets.
What was that, Rinwell?
Nothing. I didn't say anything. I agree, though. Flowers that match the bride are a must.
They are, right? By the way, will our cover be okay? I don't want Shion to know what I'm up to.
We're good. Kisara's on Shion distraction duty, so we should have plenty of time. We'll make sure Shion keeps busy while you're gathering information. That way you should be able to keep it a secret from her.
Thanks. I don't mean to cause trouble for everyone just because of some weird whim of mine.
We don't mind, but be sure to explain everything to Shion at some point. So, you need info on flowers. What do you want to know exactly?
What kind of flowers are best for a wedding? If there are any special kinds you need? That kind of thing. White's the best color, right?
I think you should talk to an expert on the subject. Anyone come to mind?
Well, I don't know how much he knows about flowers, but Mahavar sailed around the world. Maybe somewhere on his travels he picked up some knowledge about flora.
He's taken us out on his ship lots of times, starting with our pursuit of Almadria. He's in Thistleum now, right? I'm pretty sure that's what Dohalim said.
Let's go see if he can help.
Kisara, I have been meaning to ask you. Do you find your duties leaving you overworked as of late?
How abrupt. What brought this question on?
Well, it's only that I worry you haven't been able to find the time to go fishing.
Oh, is that all? There's no need to worry. I do have other ways to relax outside of fishing. I used to fish to secure food for the day, but now that the food distribution network has stabilized, that's no longer an issue. That said, if you're ever feeling a craving for fish, don't hesitate to let me know.
That's a lovely suggestion, but it's the sight of you by the water, rod in hand, that has been etched into my mind. I find it unfortunate that, within the past year, I no longer have as many opportunities to see you enjoying yourself in the great outdoors.
Why don't you try fishing yourself then? You might like it. In fact, I'd be happy to plan something. It'd give me a chance to introduce you to the joy of fishing. You on one side of the rod, a fish on the other. It's like a negotiation, but also the perfect time for self-reflection. Though, of course, what really keeps you coming back is the excitement of landing a big one.
I'm afraid I'll have to decline.
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I let myself get a bit carried away.
Oh, no. I can tell that fishing truly is special to you. What I mean to say is, I'd prefer to be an onlooker, relaxing at your side, and perhaps engaging in conversation from time to time.
Oh, Doe. It's settled then. I'll find the opportunity when things have calmed down.
Of course. When that time comes, I look forward to accompanying you.
Nazamil, now! Hurry up and kill him now!
The great and terrible Waterlord relying on the strength of another? How utterly pathetic.
What the hell have I been keeping you for all this time? Do something, Nazamil! Now!
Someone who clings to others' strength is not qualified to wield power or reap its benefits. Die.
It is just for the strong to dominate over those who are weaker. Being different is meaningless in the face of sheer power. And yet, the one who taught me that still died in the end. The truth is that people will always doubt, hate, and reject anything that's different, including me.
Of the jungle.
This place, is this where they make those masks?
The people wearing them seem different from everyone we've seen so far.
Because they're actually doing shit, not just being walking zombies.
Wait!
Do you see us?
Yes. What can I do for you?
She got through.
What are you all doing here? What are you trying to accomplish?
We maintain this facility to mass produce and manage suppressors. Our goal, of course, is world peace.
Suppressors. That must be the proper name for those masks. So, it's a tool to subdue the wearer's will.
Wearing one makes you a doll, an empty shell. That's their idea of peace.
That is only the initial state. Interference from the wearer's will creates conflict with the suppressor that must be compensated for.
Eventually, the mind is calmed, and a harmony is reached between the two. Then everyone becomes the same.
What do you mean, the same?
We mean that we all share the same values. The same thoughts and ideas as the reigning visage.
Our minds are calm. We have no conflicts.
In other words, everyone wearing one of those things just does what they're told?
This is wrong.
On so many levels.
Controlling minds? Forcing compliance? You can't call that peace.
you've all got to wear those things and obey the reigning visage's orders, right? That's...
There is no need to worry, for we have located the keystone.
The keystone?
The facility that controls all of the many mausoleums throughout the world.
You found the mausoleum's control center? But how?
By interfacing directly with the keystone, the bearer of the reigning visage is able to harmonize even with distant suppressors.
The world will be joined as one. All differences will cease to be.
They can't be fucking serious.
Alphen? Are you the one called Alphen?
So what if I am?
Nazamil has been expecting you. She waits further within this facility. You may proceed.
We keep having to travel through all these caves and buildings. It's making me lose track of where we are.
True. But at least we get to do it without wearing those masks.
That's true too.
Speaking of masks, those Cal Basel guys didn't make them from scratch, did they?
Probably not. I've seen them at other mausoleums.
I'm sure it's another work of the Helganquil. They've been manipulating us in various ways. I suppose it was one of those attempts.
But this place was the stronghold of the Snake Eyes, wasn't it? I wonder why they didn't try to use the masks.
If Nazamil has the same power as a sovereign, maybe she was able to use that power to activate the masks.
It was fortunate the Snake Eyes couldn't use them.
In the end, their entire group ended up getting taken over by those masks, huh?
Perhaps that's why Nazamil was able to form Cal Basel in such a short period of time.
But for what? What is she trying to do? They talk about bringing peace, but what they're doing is the exact opposite. There's no way they can bring about peace like this. And Nazamil should know that.
Pretty dreary place. No decorations or anything. Is this Nazamil's room?
They say that a room is a reflection of its inhabitant.
Then, what does this say about her?
From what everyone said, she's supposedly the leader of this group. But this seems like...
This room. Once, back when I lived on Lenegis, my old room looked a lot like this one. It doesn't contain anything beyond the basic necessities. It's just a place to sleep.
Are these... us?
I wonder if Nazamil drew them.
What's this? Everyone in the Forbidden Zone, and my father who sent me there, all they cared about was my power. I thought that if I did what they wanted, they would accept me.
But I was wrong. Because I have Danon blood. Because I possess all 6 elements. Because I was sent back from the Forbidden Zone. Because I'm different. I'm not Renin. I'm not Danon either. And it was all my fault. It was my fault. I was different. I always believed that. I believed there was nothing I could do. But again, I was wrong. It wasn't my fault.
I finally understand that. And I know what I have to do.
Nazamil.
Because she was treated so horribly for her differences, she thinks she can solve her problems by using those masks to make everyone the same.
But why? She knew we accepted her, and she was so happy to be with us. So, how could she...
No matter how hard her life has been, it is no excuse to manipulate people's hearts. We have to stop her. We can't let her do this.
Hey, Satan. Say this type of behavior for Twitter.
You all came.
Nazamil. Is it true you're trying to forcibly alter the wills of everyone in the world with those masks?
If you mean the suppressors, then yes.
Come on! You sure the hell Ganquil aren't forcing you to do this or something? That's it, right?
Sorry, but no. They are asleep. I merely looked in on their thoughts. That's how I found out about the suppressors and about the mausoleums.
So you're able to read minds? I see. So that's how she learned of the keystone.
You can't get rid of everything that's different by compelling everyone to think like you.
Yes, I know. That's why I'm making their minds all the same. Same as mine. I like all of you more than I can say. If everybody has my thoughts, they'll automatically like you too.
You want them to like us?
So you're trying to brainwash everyone in the world because you want to do us a favor?
For years, I have put up with their hatred. I could bear it if it were just for me. But I can't stand the thought of my friends being hated. Not my best friends. The first friends that I've ever had. I will not let anyone hurt you.
You don't have to do this. Now, come on!
It'll be done soon. Don't worry, Alphen. I just sent out orders from the Keystone to have suppressors put on everyone.
What?
Yeah, she lost it.
You can't. What you're trying to do here, controlling people with these masks of yours, it's tyranny.
I wanted to make you happy.
Tell that to the government. Oh yeah.
Nazamil, please stop this. Come back with us.
No way. Why would you say something like that?
Nazamil, listen.
I'm doing all this for you. You're supposed to be my friends. Why are you throwing it back in my face?
Nazamil!
I get it. It's because I was useless, wasn't I? Why do you despise me?
Of course I don't hate you.
I have an idea. All I have to do is put my thoughts in your heads as well. Then we'll be the same.
Yep, she's lost it.
Nazamil!
I'll try to make it quick. If everyone has a suppressor, everyone will be the same. Then they'll like me again.
You done lost your goddamn mind, bitch.
No, Nazamil. You're wrong.
It's okay. Soon we'll all be the same.
In here I go. And again.
Here I come.
Hurricane
Dragon
That'll bring you down. Lightning strike.
This woman is out her goddamn mind.
Not today.
Your ass down.
No further.
Sealed. I'll be saving this one.
Ready
and will. Healing circle.
See what I can do.
Lightning strike. Sleep myself together.
Dragon swarm.
Crescent moon. Inferno crossing. Divine state one more time.
Dragon swarm.
Looks far enough.
Rising wyvern.
I don't feel so hot.
You should sit this one out then.
And miss
Not
all the
today.
fun. No way.
Still.
Your ass down.
Get your suppressor on.
No way I'm putting one of those things on.
Then I'll have to make you.
Is she serious?
Yeah, she's dead fucking serious.
This one's mine. Will this help?
Ready and ready.
Inferno
See what I can do.
Not today.
Ready.
I owe you one for that.
Rising wyvern.
Power of flame.
Inferno
Dragon
here.
swarm.
Going
Fucking little punk.
Now or never. No further. Not today.
You obviously don't know who you're dealing with.
This is the power of all 6 elements.
She's as strong as a lord. No, stronger.
What do we do? I don't see a way out of this without hurting her.
Nazamil, please, stop this. We're your friends, aren't we? Here goes. Healing circle. The waters of creation.
You punk. Quit running.
This one's all mine. Rising Wyvern. On guard. Now or never. On guard. Rising Wyvern. On guard. Lunar Rondo. Not today. Tempest Wyvern. Mirage. Havoc Dragon Swarm. In a bind. There. Hurricane Dragon Swarm.
I take my last. I take one of my previous comments back. You're worse than the fucking government, and that's saying a lot.
Getting past her barrier.
It must consume energy to stop our attacks. Each blow's gotta be chipping away at it.
We'll have to keep wearing it down.
Right. Then it looks like this will be a battle of endurance.
Won't be easy, but it's our only shot.
Take this. Can't get out of this. Dragon shattering pieces. Attack time. Hurricane Seal.
Well, this one's mine.
Dragon Swarm.
Sleep now.
On guard. Not today. Dragon Swarm. Vacuum Blades.
That'll bring you down.
The waters of creation. Dragon Swarm.
Here I go.
Fear throbs in pain.
Now.
Deepens descend. Flashing Fang.
This one's mine.
By the winds of heaven.
On your knees to the sovereign bitch. This is some shit a Twitter user would do.
Dark astral energy manifested as one?
Is she combining multiple elements of astral energy into her attacks?
Yeah, I think she is. I've never seen or heard of anything like it before now.
Indeed. The danger is all too clear.
Nazamil, did you push your astral arts too far?
It's too much stress on her body.
Please, you've got to stop this recklessness.
On guard. Need to pull myself together.
Hurricane in here.
Dragon Swarm.
More for stockpile.
You little punk.
Dragon Swarm.
Ready and the waters of creation.
Now you see what I can do. Rising Wyvern. You're mine.
Havoc, that'll bring you down. The waters of
Swarm.
creation.
It's on.
Dance, immortal droplet.
Not today.
I'm almost finished.
It's too much. Vacuum Blade.
I'll bring you back from death to
Rising
this.
Wyvern. Now I can let
In
loose.
here. I'll be
Dragon Swarm.
by the power
I have to train harder.
Vanish without a trace.
Try harder. Now,
I'll be
here I
saving
come.
this one.
Stop this, Nazamil.
Why? Why would you interfere?
What you're trying to do is tyranny. Listen to me.
I knew you hated me.
Nazamil. Shattering of pieces.
You're listening to what you want to listen to.
Not today. Hurricane Flight. Vacuum Blade.
Hurricane
Rising Wyvern. Lunar Rondo.
A world
Here I
in
come.
trouble. Nothing gets by me.
Stay still.
Down. You're on.
Try harder. Now.
If it's in
Here
the
I
sky,
Can't fucking reach her.
No further. I'm nearly done for. This one's all mine. Not today.
Thank you.
Now you see what I can do.
The waters of hurricane flow. Look sharp. Will this help?
Everyone does. Anyone who gets to know me runs away. They tell me that it's because I'm different. I'm not friendly. I'm not dim. I'm not normal. I'm not anyone's friend. I'm not anyone's friend!
Nazamil! Dragon Swarm! There!
In here! I'll heal you all!
Rising Weapon!
Away!
Strona!
Healing
Lunar
hero!
Rondo! I'll burn it
Come on!
Flaming Pillar! Fire!
The water got created!
Take this!
Now stay the fuck down.
Not today! Ready and raring! Hell! Now you see what I can do! Dragon Swarm! There!
Hurricane flight!
Rising Wyvern!
Lightning strike!
Lunar Rondo!
Nope.
Huh? I managed to steal an astral art from her, but I only got one of them? Nazamil's astral energy is incredibly strong.
However, that power must be taking its toll on her.
Right. We've got to stop her quickly.
Dragon! Not today!
In here!
Everyone hates me! Everyone! I can't take anymore!
The blazing sword?
Can't get out of this!
Push out! All of it! Make it all go away!
What the hell?
By the power of
Their arms were interrupted!
Seal! This'll come in
Whoa.
handy. A whirling struggle.
This isn't looking good!
Oh wow.
What is this? I don't understand. It wasn't supposed to be like this. I thought you were... I thought you were my friends. I don't know what to do. I don't want to be alone again. I don't... I can't.
Delicious.
I'm despicable. Yes. I should just disappear.
No, Nazamil, don't do it! Nazamil. Wait! Nazamil.
It's no good. It won't activate. It must be locked from the other side.
What's gotten into her? She said she was going to put masks on us, but then she put one on herself and fled.
She reminded me of the people back in Niez.
The one she put on is the reigning visage, the thing that supposedly controls the other masks, but... if that's the case, maybe it alters the mind of whoever wears it as well.
So, she used it on herself? Damn it. Why couldn't I explain better? She must think all of us are against her now.
Calm down, Alphen. It isn't over yet.
That's right. We have to go after her.
Sure, but we don't even know where she went.
Judging by what she said recently, it's likely she went to the Keystone. The only problem is finding out where that is.
No, wait. The coordinates she used are still saved here. If we can enter these into another teleporter, then...
You're a genius! So all we need to do is head to another teleporter, right?
Yes. Assuming we're lucky enough to find one that isn't already connected somewhere.
Regardless, I think we should go back to Niez first. What Nazamil said before has me worried.
She said she'd sent out orders. You're right. We should check it out. Mahavar, can we have a minute?
Oh, Alphen! How you been? What's with the serious face?
I've come to glean some of your worldly knowledge. Do you know what kind of flowers are best suited for a wedding ceremony?
Flowers? For a wedding?
Yeah. Do they need to be a special kind? Any practical information you have would be helpful. I think some kind of pretty white flowers would be best.
Whoa there, hold on just a minute. I'm glad you thought of me for advice, but... you know, I'm not really the flower type.
Can't you remember anything? It's super important.
If the flowers are for a wedding, then why not just use whatever kind of flowers the bride and groom both like?
There's no particular type that I like. Heck, I barely even know the names of any flowers.
Wait, Alphen, it's your... I think I get it now. In that case, I'll give it some more thought. Maybe... Nah, that's all wrong. Oh! There's a Calaglian legend that's perfect for this kind of thing.
A legend?
Yeah, they say there's a rare flower that grows only in Calaglia. The legend goes that if you wear it, you'll be happy forever.
Really? I'd never heard that one.
Now that you mention it, I think I read about that flower before.
If you ask the Calaglians, I'm sure they could tell you more.
Then it's probably quickest to ask the Crimson Crows for info.
Thanks, Mahavar. I knew I could count on you.
Same goes for you. I won't press you for details on your plans, but good luck.
Thanks. See you around. Dohalim, I've been thinking about how you've been bringing together the refugees from Lenegis all by yourself. It's incredible.
Right? It sounds like you've got a lot to deal with, but I never hear you complaining. Way to go, man!
Each thoroughfare is a river. The aimless wanderers its flotsam. The rapids become deafening in their ceaseless roar.
What are you talking about? Is there a dangerous river in Pelesian or something?
No, that was Dohalim's somewhat idiosyncratic way of complaining.
Huh? Which part?
The deafening rapids represent the troubled voices of the people here. He has to listen to their woes every single day, so I suppose he must get tired after a while.
Okay. Though, to be honest, even with it explained, I'm still not sure I really get it.
A hand extended to carry any burden, receiving but pebbles.
He wants to help them solve their problems, so he listens to their concerns, but they only ever bring him small, trivial matters.
How did you get all of that?
Suspended outside your window, sunlight caught on sodden shadows. 'Tis no cause for shame.
Wow, it sounds so mysterious. What's this one about, Kisara?
In this case, the sodden shadows would be laundry. One of the Renans must have complained about wet clothing that some Danon hung out to dry. He's expressing the frustration he feels at having to listen to such petty grievances all the time.
Yes, your inferences are correct. As a man in my position, I find it difficult to speak my mind. Looking back, my achievements in Menancia truly would have been impossible were it not for your assistance. I find I am quite inadequate on my own.
Dohalim, you're a hard worker. You should be proud of that. I'd be glad to lend an ear to your complaints anytime.
Great courage is needed to travel the long road ahead. You, as ever, are my courage.
Dohalim, yes, let's continue to travel it together.
I don't think I need that one explained to me.
I still don't get it.
Of course.
Those donuts you made were really good, Shion. I can understand why they made all those kids so happy.
Thanks. Hey, Alphen. I was wondering, what if, and this is a pretty big if, what would you think if I said I wanted to open my own donut shop?
Huh? Really?
No, it's not that it's something I really want to do. It's just that I remembered something Rinwell said to me. She said, if you're going to sell donuts, I'm sure Alphen would be right there with you.
She said that? Well, yeah, I guess she was right. Whatever you decide to do in life, I'll be there to support you and help in any way I can.
Alphen, are you saying...
But you know, if we ever really open a store, I want to make and sell my own donuts too.
Wait, Alphen?
Oh, that's it. What if we made spicy donuts? Wouldn't those be the trendiest donuts ever?
Are you crazy? Yuck! It's my store, so I'm only going to sell donuts that I think are good.
In that case, I'll just have to make some spicy donuts that you think are good.
You know, Alphen, you can be really stubborn when you want to be.
I'm not the only one. So, what do you think? Are you gonna hire me at your donut shop?
Well, I guess I can take your application under consideration.
Good job, Rinwell. Sounds like those two were able to make up thanks to you.
Yeah, it looks like they were able to clear up their misunderstanding with each other. I hope they can become good friends.
I hope so too. But what if something goes wrong and they get in another fight?
Shion?
I'm sorry. It's just... I can't stop thinking about it. What's to keep the same thing from happening all over again?
Shion, don't worry. Working through their differences is how kids learn to understand each other and become closer friends.
She's right. Kids may fight a lot, but they usually make up quickly.
I see. I guess you would know better. I never had those kinds of experiences.
But you and I were like that too, weren't we, Shion? We clashed with each other sometimes, but we also talked a lot. And in the end, that's how the two of us became friends, right? So if we could do it, I'm sure those kids will be just fine.
Rinwell. Yeah, you're right. If you believe in them, then I'm sure they'll be okay too.
Oh, but you know, the only reason I feel that way now is because I had the chance to become friends with you, Shion. It was only because of you that I was able to help those kids make up with each other. So, thank you, Shion. I'm really glad we became friends.
Yeah, same here, Rinwell. I'm so grateful I get to have a friend like you.
No one's doing anything. They're all just standing there.
I don't understand. Nazamil didn't order her puppets to attack?
Or maybe it just hasn't started yet.
I'm sorry.
Huh?
It wasn't supposed to be like this. I'm sorry.
Wait! What?
I'm sorry. I thought it would make you happy. I'm sorry.
What is going on?
Hey, there's Bayfon.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Are they all being manipulated by the masks? The suppressors?
Nazamil?
Huh?
Wait, if Bayfon is like this, Then do you think the inn is okay?
Let's go see.
Good question.
What is going on with these people?
I'm glad they're not attacking us. But why do they keep apologizing? At this rate, there might not be anyone left not wearing a mask.
And Nazamil plans to do this to the entire world?
I hope the inn hasn't been compromised.
With Bayfon like that, who knows what's happened?
Fucking kidding me.
They've gotten in. We're done for.
No, look, we're not wearing those masks.
Oh, thank goodness. I thought for sure.
I'm relieved to see some people are still safe. Can you tell us anything about what happened here?
Those masked weirdos out front went berserk all of a sudden and tried to force their way in here. Bayfon said he would lure them away and left us.
So you've been hiding here, Renans and Danans, all hunkered down together.
They didn't hesitate to let me in when I feared for my life.
This lady saved me with her astral arts. I never thought I'd see everyone working together like this.
That young man said the masked people went berserk.
Right. Except Nazamil said she'd already sent out orders before we got to her.
Okay, but if that's what initiated the attack, then why have they stopped and gone docile now? And when they talked,
It was Nazamil's consciousness. You said so yourself, didn't you, Alphen?
That does fit with what Nazamil was saying before. How she was changing people's minds to make them the same as her.
And now, she's wearing a mask, and must be in the same state as the people outside. Assuming the reigning visage has the same effects on the wearer as the suppressors, what would happen if she were to interface with the keystone?
The purpose of connecting to the keystone was to send orders. But if Nazamil is also under the control of a suppressor... maybe everyone outside has gone quiet, because they've become the same as Nazamil is right now.
But if that's the case, then what was up with all that stuff they said?
I suppose they must have been Nazamil's true feelings.
Bingo.
I don't know how it all works. But that has to be it.
all of those masked people we saw kept apologizing to us. If those were actually Nazamil's thoughts, then...
We have to help her. We have to find a way to show her that we aren't mad at her.
But if we want to get to the keystone, we have to find a teleporter. Oh!
A Dawn Lake!
Yeah, I remember that.
There's a teleporter there.
We have the coordinates we need. Let's go before...
Wait. If we're right about what's going on, then it may mean that we'll have to face Nazamil. Before we finally head out, we'll need to make sure we're all prepared for that possibility.
She's right. We can't afford to fail.
We already are. Shit. What do you mean?
There's something I can't figure out. Assuming that the keystone is putting the people in those masks in the same state of mind as Nazamil right now, how did Nazamil become like that?
It was because she put on the mask, right?
Yes. However, when Cal Basel first showed up in Niez, Nazamil was wearing the mask.
But then when we saw her after that, she wasn't wearing it anymore. Could that mean she wasn't being controlled by it at first?
Perhaps the mind control function is something that can be shut off. At least with Nazamil's mask. The reigning visage.
That would mean Nazamil went to the trouble of turning that function on before putting on the mask again.
I don't get it. If we were simply in the way, there was no need for her to do that after we defeated her.
We couldn't have been in the way. She said she's doing all of this for us, didn't she?
She also said we're her friends.
That may be so, but Nazamil still attacked us when we tried to stop her.
It seemed like she wasn't listening to what we were saying. It was like we were talking past each other.
We're still overlooking something. Whatever it was that drove Nazamil to the point of fighting us. Even before she gave up and erased herself. If we want to help her, we need to find out what that is before we see her again. I think we're ready. Let's all rest up today. Then tomorrow, we'll head out to confront Nazamil.
I wonder what she's doing right now.
She's still under the mask's control. It is possible that she can't see or feel anything.
Even so, her heart is crying out. And I think it's my fault that it is.
Your fault? How do you figure?
I've been thinking about it non-stop. When we had to fight Nazamil, where did I go wrong? Nazamil tried to take over people's minds, to control them. That is wrong. There's no excuse for it. But in the end, ultimately, she did it for us.
Yeah, she did say that.
She had no place where she belonged. To her, it must have seemed like the rest of the world didn't even exist. So when she joined us, it was like we became her entire world.
We were her first friends. So, when we rejected her too...
It meant Nazamil lost her whole world. That's why she was so devastated that she tried to erase her own mind.
From the beginning, all she wanted was to earn our approval. And I flat out rejected her. Because I didn't understand. I was so focused on rebuking her actions that I couldn't empathize with her.
Let's show her we're sorry. Then we can hold hands with her, like we did before.
I'm sure the charm will help us reconnect.
Shouldn't you get some sleep?
In theory, yes. But I knew you were off by yourself somewhere, lost in thought.
Can't hide anything from you, can I? I'm sorry. No, I guess I should say thank you.
Thanks for what, exactly?
For letting me drag you into this life of non-stop travel. For staying with me for all this time. For everything. I've been called a hero, a destroyer, and things even worse than that. But you stayed with me, Shion.
Even right now, as you're thanking me, Nazamil is all you can think about, right?
I'm sorry.
It's not your fault. That's just who you are, Alphen. But the truth of the matter is, that's why I'm here. If you weren't such a caring person, that wouldn't be the case.
Shion.
And besides, you're not the only one who's worried about Nazamil. I couldn't sleep either. When I look at her, I see myself. Saddled with a fate she never wanted. Treated like an outsider by everybody. Alone. You know that pain. Really, I think that we all do. Every one of us has scars like Nazamil's. You're the one who saved me, Alphen. And along the way, I think we've all managed to save each other. That's why I want to help Nazamil however I possibly can. I want her to feel like she's not alone anymore.
Yeah. Listen. There's something that I've been wanting to tell you. I think I'm ready to say it. Now that I'm prepared to move forward. Shion, would...
Now's not the time.
What?
Not while we still have more important things to do.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
Try not to look so worried. I'm not going anywhere, okay? Is that all right?
You're always 5 steps ahead of me. All right. Did everybody get enough rest?
Let's get moving. Nazamil is waiting for us.
Let's show her she has friends who care about her.
And put an end to this chaos once and for all.
That's right! Then we can have a tasty meal together.
I guess that means I'll have to put all of my cooking skills to work, then.
It's time. We're bringing her back, no matter what.